Today we're jumping into a futuristic cyberpunk-esque city using Procreate's animation feature. I'm really excited to share this with you, so get cozy and let's get into it. With so much talk about the future of art and the future in general, all the uncertainty, whether technology is going to rule us all or it's just all going to crash and burn to the ground, I thought I would just have fun with the idea and create a futuristic cyberpunk city, something I've never done before. The beginning of this video starts off a little weird. There's already something on the canvas. I had spent a few hours, which is why this video took so long, making a city that looks stale and boring, and it just looked like clip art copied and pasted. And I was like, no. I've read enough comic books to have seen enough cityscapes to be able to conjure something up. So let me rethink this, come back, and try again. And I'm glad I did. I think there's a lot more dynamic elements here. There's some layers, there's multiple buildings, we got some pipes going through the city here. The sketching process was really fun, and I was really surprised with what I was able to come up with. Just kind of let loose a little bit and allow myself to break down those barriers in my creative pathway and utilize the benefit of digital art, which is something that you can take a lot more risk with. You're not at risk of losing paper or running out of art supplies. You can undo something. And that is the benefit of this. That is what makes it a lot more streamlined. Where I think risk taking is valuable and is important, there are risks that one has to take in order to grow. The safeguards or parameters placed around those risks that make them less of a cost, I think, can be beneficial to people and not at their detriment. Now, there's something to be said about, things being done for you automatically, or, taking the process out altogether where it becomes an entirely different process. And that is something that I just can't really relate to. When I think about creativity in my own right, there are certain tools that I use that make me more capable, that amplify my abilities and amplify my storytelling, my ideas, allow me to kind of quickly move through certain aspects. But those tools still require me to put it all together myself. Having something else do that for me is just not something that piques my interest. And I just don't think it's as satisfying as, the old-fashioned way with some contemporary nuances. Seeing this city actually come together, seeing the pipe work that I'm laying down, looking at the tiny buildings I'm putting in the background, putting things in the foreground, seeing everything kind of stack up, it looks really cool to see that come out of my own hand and make that such a tangible reality for me. It's so rewarding to actually participate in the activity of creation, which sounds like a very weird cult-like thing to say, but in an artistic sense rather, not like, do you guys want to join my club? But just creating is fun, and to actually do it is fun. And maybe there's an art to the prompting. I don't know. Maybe it's satisfying to type in a word and see what pops up, but it's so random. And it seems without much intention. I don't know how you can find what you're looking for specifically, especially once your artwork comes to a certain point. You see it, and it's like, okay, now I know what I'm doing, and I kind of have a better idea of, maybe not even just exactly where I need to go. Do you have that with those options? I'm not sure. I think the line in the sand is drawn ethically when it comes to people not consenting to be a participant in these kinds of programs. Where I do think AI image generation can be used as a tool for artists, I think it can also be used as a tool against them. And that's just something you have to keep in mind as you navigate this new ecosystem. Unfortunately, it is something that we're just going to have to face. But I think the value of creation is just too valuable to be erased in this way. Handmade, human-made, with the heart, with the love, with the human experience, will never not be interesting to other people. There's always so much value in what an individual can create versus what a machine can. One thing that we need to take into consideration here is that anytime something new comes along, it does cause a lot of controversy. You think about the NFT issue, you think about anything that's brand new and there's just not much known about it, people do tend to catastrophize. But then there's the opposite side that has a tendency to over-glamorize things and make it sound amazing, and there's nothing wrong with this, and it's only going to be good. And that also can throw a wrench into this, where we're kind of denying the naysayers and the people who have some kind of problem or opposition. One thing I'm seeing consistently online is that a lot of people aren't listening to artists, the people who are affected by this, and in a way is kind of silencing that community, our community. However, I do see a lot of comments just don't agree with this. They don't like the idea. I just don't see that this is just going to be an easy takeover in 10 to 15 years and no one can do anything about it. The boulder's already moving. Okay, well, if it's already moving, who's controlling it? Nobody. I mean, at this point, the deepfake situation is becoming extremely egregious. You look at these very explicit forms of material that are being created by the image of people who are not actually committing those explicit acts, and the ramifications that that can have on someone's mental health, not to mention their reputation. These things can ruin people's lives. That boulder is moving so fast, it has potential to shatter when it hits the bottom of that hill. And maybe that can be the silver lining here that's like, well, we'll let it ruin itself, but in its wake it'll cause massive devastation to a lot of other people and societies, leaving it in ruins with shattered pieces of boulder all over the place. That also is not a good outcome of this. I do not believe that this will cause a utopia or an apocalypse. What I do believe is it's going to be a very rocky road to get to that sweet spot, and we're just going to have to see, brace yourselves and see what happens. To anybody who's discouraged from creating, who thinks their work is now irrelevant, who thinks that their identity is being erased, I challenge you to not allow yourself to fall into your own insecurities brought on by this image generation software. There is much uncertainty, unlike ever before, but as anything has been invented and innovation has taken place from the beginning of time to today, we've always found a way to persist and move forward. As long as we continue to create and we continue to express ourselves in artistic ways, we will still be here to support each other in that process. And as long as you're here with me and I'm here with you and each other, there's no reason that any of us have to leave. Those people, the people who don't care, they're not here to begin with, even before this stuff existed. So it changes nothing in my book. Is it just a tool for artists? Hey, Leo. My baby's here. How you doing, big boy? All right. Whether it is just a tool for artists or a tool against us, there are a lot of tools against us. There are a lot of things against us. And regardless, in the words of Maya Angelou, I still rise. And I believe that. I stand by that, and I refuse to believe anything else. It's okay to be scared of something, it's okay to be skeptical, and it's okay to oppose something you don't agree with. But it's not a reason to give up on you and what you want to do with your life. Fight for that. Show why it's valuable, and the value will pay itself back over time. So keep your head up, you'll find a way through this. So now we're getting into the exciting part of this video where everything is coming together. We've got the signs, the neon lights, we've got the hover cars, we've got the shooting stars. It's all coming together so nicely. I'm so proud of this. It was such an ambitious take. It took so much time to make this happen, but I'm really, really satisfied with the result. And just as much as you all motivate me to keep posting and keep creating, I hope that this video gave you a little bit of an extra reason to keep showing up and keep making your own beautiful work. So thank you so much for your support. If you are interested, however, in supporting the channel a little bit more, you know what I mean, you can check out CozzieT.com. It's in the description down below, and you can check out some of my art prints and stickers. That's CozzieT.com. You can use code Kozzie10 to get 10% off your first order. With all of that said, here is the animation, the piece de resistance. I'm so excited to share this with you. I hope you enjoy it. Stay cozy.